There may have been a time when games were simply a fun little romp, suitable for anyone. They were simpler days, as target audiences just weren't a thing. But times change, and those innocent thrills of E4Everyone games may seem like a throwback to the past. Thankfully, we're here to prove that wrong, and present our top 10 titles which are an absolute blast, no matter your age, that'll surely be a hit with everyone in the family. This one's for you, Granny. Ah, she's fallen asleep again. We'll kick things off with a series that's catered to all ages and tastes for years. From the fun and highly irreverent games to the dark and emotionally turbulent stories, let's take a look at the Telltale titles. They're the gift that just keeps on giving. Kids will love the antics of Wallace and Gromit, Minecraft, and the underrated Bone series, and as they grow into fully fledged gamers with actual opinions, you can broaden their horizons with the Batman episodes, Jurassic Park, and Guardians of the Galaxy. They're as simple as sitting down, grabbing a controller, and watching a story unfold, while providing an added depth of choice, which will appease even the most hardcore of gamers. Are any of you out there looking to reignite your love for the Harvest Moon series and bring that joy to future generations? Well, Pathea have made a very worthy successor, and it goes by the name of My Timer Porsche. Unsurprisingly, it's freaking adorable. Charged as town builder, you're tasked with taking contracts to craft all sorts of weird and wonderful contraptions that will improve the lives of all the colourful characters that you'll meet. You'll get to upgrade your workshop, buy more land, raise cattle, and battle monsters as you set out to make Porsche a utopia for its citizens. It's clear to see the appeal for kids. It's a lovable title in every regard, and for any adults excited at the prospects of creating their own construction company monopoly, there's plenty here to keep you satisfied. And now, a set of games that have aged like fine wine. A series that'll give any given adult hours of entertainment and should prove a hit with the kids as well. It's Monkey Island. Now, many series try a bit too hard to be funny, and it can get pretty uncomfortable. But the Monkey Island series is genuinely hilarious, and you can absolutely hold us to that. Littered with tongue-in-cheek nods to other games, fourth wall breaks, and jabs at typical pirate stories, Monkey Island serves as an absolute treat for gamers of all ages. For the younger audience, the story provides boatloads of irreverent comedy and slapstick to delight and amuse, whilst also dishing out plenty of jokes that'll go way over their dumb little heads, that'll hopefully land nicely with any older players. A small part of us wants to dislike the LEGO games. They have every indication of being a tie-in cash grab for big movies. But then the other part of us fights back, debunks that notion, and realizes that's what they expect us to think, which is why they go out of their way to defy every bad convention of your classic movie tie-in. Like Monkey Island, the games never take themselves too seriously. It isn't crash childish humour, but little nods to the source material that die-hard fans will eat up. Sure, they aren't the most complex platformers, but you'll encounter plenty of puzzles that will make you scratch your head and sit back to work out how to piece it all together. Be honest, we're sure at some point you've found yourself having a great time in any manner of LEGO universes. With nearly a decade under its belt, it did seem that the reign of Minecraft had started to slow down. But here we are, in 2020, seeing a glorious renaissance for Mojang's beloved title. Just as sure as kids and adults alike will love building weird and wonderful contraptions in the LEGO games, they'll also be smitten, creating vast landscapes and their own imaginative structures in Minecraft. Don't think it'll be for you? Well, don't just take our word for it. Listen to over 175 million players who've bought and played the game, making it the single highest selling title of all time. So why is it so popular? Well, it's something that truly appeals to all ages. Whether you're just after a relaxing day of building, or you're looking to delve into the earth and fight some miscreant creepers, Minecraft can cater to all of your adventuring desires. Let's look at some colourful, blobby confusion now, with Slime Rancher. We'll be honest here, we've played a good few hours of this game and we still have no bloody clue what's actually going on. You've got a vacuum type gizmo and you slurp up slimes and you put them in pens, then they combine or maybe eat each other or sometimes turn into mean old monster slimes that ruin everyone's day. So yeah, it's a bewildering experience at first, and whilst the game's intricacies may take some time to set in, we still had an absolute blast playing it. There's an undeniable abundance of character in the game's quirky aesthetic, and the variety of different slimes for you to find, capture, create, and look after led to all kinds of pleasant surprises during Laugh at the Old Ranch. Needless to say, there's plenty to discover in this gem, but above all, it is simply a wonderfully cathartic experience. Kids will love the antics that their little creations get up to, and adults get the chance to play God, spawning a genetically superior blobby master race. Excuse me. There is truly something for all. We talked about My Timer Porsche giving players a great Harvest Moon-esque experience, but it does take a very different turn with all that building malarkey. If you're looking for something much more true to form, to fulfill all your desires of running a farm, tending to animals, as well as the constant whims of the townsfolk, then take a trip to Stardew Valley. There's fishing, there's mining, there's planting, caring, and harvesting. You can try your hand at bread making, jam making, beer making, artisanal cheese making. You can look after goats, chickens, cows, dragons, and if you didn't get your fill with Slime Rancher, you'll find even more goopy goodness down here. The title gives no pressures to progress in any specific time frame, but sure enough, even younger players will be taking the most efficient approach to industrial farming before they know it. For the older crowd, you'll find countless secrets to uncover, storylines to explore, and townsfolk to woo, and top hats for your horse. Because after all that jam, we all need a taste of the high life every now and then. We're now going to stick in the realms of managing one's own private utopia, and look at what can only be defined as the perfect living situation. You'll find an abundance of activities, animal buddies to hang out with, and a life of no responsibility. Except for Tom Nook's mortgage payments, of course. Long story short, the world of Animal Crossing is exactly where we want to live. From our first steps into this anthropomorphic paradise back on the N64, the series has given us thousands of hours of happy memories. For many gamers, it was our first example of games not having to be a formidable challenge, or requiring constant practice to get the most out of them. There was no right way to play, and no wrong way. What's more, these aren't games that you can blast through in one sitting. You'll need to pop in and out at different times across all seasons to watch your town grow and prosper, and check out what its citizens have been up to. This is a game that will provide joy for all ages, and with a new one out on the Switch, it's never been a better time to get in on the wonderful world of Animal Crossing. We feel we've made some pretty good stabs at titles which can be enjoyed by all ages. But what easier way to define these than simply looking at where we started our own journey as gamers? Titles we still play today. As one of the most iconic, innovative, and prestigious series for the past 3 decades, generations of gamers have started out with The Legend of Zelda. And even today, we're still getting blown away by the high caliber of the games. They're proof that adventures don't need to be all blood, gore, and gruesome details to stand out. Whilst an older audience can play a Zelda game and become immersed in the gravity of the perils at hand, a younger audience might look past it and just think, hey, this is really quite fun and beautiful. We have to give credit here to the team behind the series. They always seem to hit the sweet spot perfectly. The puzzles are intricate but not laborious. The exploration is varied but never a grind. And the recurring characters are a breath of fresh air each and every time. Never, ever a lazy stereotype. And finally, onto our number 1 spot. The titles which have been beloved by kids and adults for decades have grown to become the biggest ever media franchise and, let's just cut to the chase. We're obviously talking about Pokemon. For so many of us, Pokemon was a way of life. It defined social hierarchies at school and was the only thing that truly mattered at that time. There were films hitting the cinemas, TV shows broadcast around the world, and countless companies trying to get in on Poke Fever. Back in the 90s, you really couldn't escape it, but why would you want to? Whilst kids today may not get to experience the series in its prime, Pikachu and pals are still going strong, offering us plenty of new adventures in untravelled lands. It's simple enough for a kid of any age to pick up, yet there's a hidden depth to keep adults surprised and engaged, flitting between statistical data as they try and find an elusive shiny Pokemon or that EV powerhouse to finish off their team. For those of you around during the heyday of Red, Blue, Silver and Gold, you know just how engrossing and fantastic it feels to play them for the first time. And it is vital that kids today can get even a semblance of what that was like, to get wrapped up in those magical feelings we felt back in the good old days. And there we have it, definitive proof that even today, titles are still in the mix that can be adored and celebrated by all ages. A game for kids doesn't have to be simple or dumbed down, and it can still sport a wealth of depth that provides even the most mature of crowds countless hours of fun. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all on the next episode.